Hey people, Complaining Gamer, and in this video I just want to touch on a subject which some of you may not have thought about before. The topic I want to cover is achievements and how they're detrimental to gaming. Some of you may not have thought about this before, but hopefully I'm going to be able to get you guys thinking, because I've had this conversation and usually people tend to agree when you get them thinking about the points I'm going to make. Okay, so what is it that I want to say? Well, I want to say how achievements have been a negative thing for gaming. Now, they kind of first made their appearance with the Xbox 360, and PlayStation has got its trophy system, and PC games I guess have got their little bits and pieces with some games that have their own sort of internal achievements with Half-Life and Warcraft and any game which has its own sort of internal achievement system. But the sly cunts over at Microsoft, obviously they were a little bit smarter than that, and they realised if you give them, give these achievements points, give them names, people will become obsessive about them, and this is what happened. To avoid sounding like a hypocrite, I would like to make the point known that I actually, on the Xbox 360, I have like 57,000 gamerscore, something like that. So obviously at some point I myself was really into getting achievements, but now luckily I'm in a place where I do not care, and hopefully most people will eventually get there and realise like you're actually playing games for the achievements. You're not actually playing the game to enjoy it like you used to before achievements even existed. Now, to just go off on a slight tangent for a moment, I'd just like to talk about a bit of news that came out quite a while ago now about a guy called Stallion 83 who had reached 500,000 gamerscore. Apparently this guy is the only, well, he's got the highest gamerscore, and apparently it's legitimate. So this guy has completed 500 games to their maximum gamerscore. Now, to me, this just seems pretty much insane in terms of time required to do this. Like, if for most of you, look at the amount of games you've played your whole sort of Xbox Live use, you probably won't even have played 500 games, let alone fully completed them. Now, this guy was getting a fair bit of sort of praise for this, and I'm not really on board with that, to be honest, because yes, in a sense it is an achievement, but on the other hand, ask yourself how much time it takes to get 500,000 gamerscore, 500 games and 1,000 gamerscore. Now, as much as it is an achievement in a sense, I don't look at it as the kind of thing that deserves praise, because the guy's just to me, it's kind of you just wasting your time. Now, I'm all for like, whatever you find it, fun is fun, and do what you want, but in the sort of real world, so to speak, it counts for nothing. It literally counts for nothing. And if there was one section that I read, a quote from this Stallion, which was a bit painful to me, was that he said he's only halfway to his goal of 1 million. He's only halfway. Now, just think about that, and let me know what you think about this, this guy's achievement and goal to double what he's already done. Anywho, getting back on track, let me ask you all a question. How many of you play games purely just to play them, and you're not doing it for the achievement? Now, I can understand that the answer isn't going to be the same for everyone, but I'd love to know what games you actually play just to play, just for fun. I mean, even those of you that don't care about achievements, please just, get involved in the comment section and share your thoughts. Now, one of my biggest issues with the achievements and what they created, I mean, all credit to Microsoft, they were extremely clever in what they brought out, and it sucked just about everyone in. But my biggest issue is that the achievements, what they caused was they detracted from the actual playing of games. So the focus went from enjoying a game to the pursuit of just chasing achievements. And in that sense, it's one of the worst things that has ever come around to be involved with games, because it is taken away from the sole purpose of games, which is just to have fun with them. Also, on another point, they're one of the biggest cons going, because if you think about it, they count for nothing. You earn this, you earn this score, these points, and people can see them on next to your gamer tag, and it's almost as if great. So you've got 100,000 game score. What does it count for? Does it make you some sort of elite, hardcore gamer? No, it doesn't. Some gamers might look at it and actually care, and good for them. I mean, just to talk about the flip side for a minute, though, and there is a flip side to this, and that is that there are people that play games for the achievements, but they enjoy the gaining of the achievements. So I'm not just going to count that out. I mean, if you enjoy that, then that is great. But I'm sure there are plenty of you, just as many of you out there, who actually play the games for the achievements. And if you stopped and thought about it for a moment, you're not actually enjoying the game. You're purely going for an achievement, and you're not investing any real thought or time into the game, because you're just solely focused on that achievement, then the next achievement, and then the next achievement. Another point worth mentioning, actually, that some people might not know of or just might ignore, is that the game score itself can actually be hacked. It can be cheated. So the foundation of the system is flawed. Therefore, it basically has no point in existing, because it's not infallible, in the same way that leaderboards can be manipulated. And this is a particularly huge gripe of mine, when you see every single game out there, every single game's leaderboard, and it's just full of crap. Like the first 10,000 have all glitched it. And for me, if you want to be sort of competitive with the rest of the world or whatever, that the manipulation of the leaderboards just absolutely kills that side of gaming dead. You could argue that a lot of what I'm trying to say is aimed at people who play the single player and the campaign, and arguably it is, because on the whole, multiplayer games, if we're talking shooters and whatnot, they're definitely not focused towards achievements with the online competitive play. One of the reasons I want to talk about this subject is because, as I said before, I myself used to be solely obsessed when playing games with getting the achievements. And in a way, as much as I think it can damage a game that deserves your attention because it's a good game, it can also make you play a game which is terrible, but has easy achievements. And this is quite a common thing, where people will play a game either because they know it's easy or they know the achievements are easy, and take the achievements out of the equation, they would never have played that game. Now, one game that I can particularly talk about, which I did that with, where I would never have played it, and I ended up going for the full sort of 1000G or whatever, was a game called Shell Shock 2. And if any of you know about that game, it is painfully bad. So if all of a sudden you have the urge to go play it, just don't. Just avoid that. Another reason why I think the pursuit of achievements is pointless is because, imagine this, for those of you that are, as we speak right now, a bit obsessive about getting the achievements. Imagine, you've got your 200,000 game score account, and whatever, you forget to pay for your account, or for some reason you get banned, or whatever reason that leads to you losing the account. What then? For 5 years, your obsession with gaming has been to get the achievements, and all of a sudden you've lost all of that. So for me, that's it's obviously not the most likely important issue, but it can happen. So just think about that. Now, just to go back to talking about Stallion 83 for a moment, even though I don't personally feel as though the achievement of 500,000 game score is worth mentioning, I'd just like to point out that the Guinness Book of World Records would care to differ on that, because Stallion has actually been in the book 2 years running for the highest gamer score in the world. So in that sense, like with anything on the planet, if you are the number one at it, then you know, you are looked upon with a sort of fond eye. Whereas I would like to think about the extra sort of the thousands of people below him which are just ignored 100%. Because as you can imagine, in the Guinness Book of World Records, it's probably like maybe just the top one him or the top three that even get a mention, and the rest of the world that pursue the same goal are just irrelevant. Okay, people, I'm gonna wrap this video up. For those of you that are curious, if I had to say what am I trying to achieve with this video, what's the goal, it would just be to get people thinking more about playing the game than chasing achievements. And if you're already like that, great. But if you can look at yourself and say, oh, actually, I'm not even playing the game to enjoy it, then just give that a thought. And to those of you that actually do enjoy the pursuit of achievements, and that is how you get your fun out of the game, by all means carry on, if that is what you enjoy. Anyway, people, I'm going to catch you next time. I hope you've enjoyed this this one-on-one. So take care, and I'll see you next time.